guys, today I have a swatch and review video for you. This is going to be a swatch and review of the upcoming Ombre Cremes collection by Stached Polish. It consists of 9 polishes and this is going to be part 1. So in this collection we're going to have 3 yellows in the light to dark color scheme. And I'm not holding them light to dark, they're just in my hand. And same thing with a set of pinks and a set of grays. So this is going to be 9 polishes. They're going to be releasing April 28th. If you want, you can head to the Stashionistas Facebook group and there'll be sneak peeks, more information. And typically what Holly, the owner of Stached Polish, does is the Stashionistas get to purchase 1 hour ahead of public, so be sure to join that group. I'll be sure to link it below. And I also wanted to bring up, I will be doing 2 more videos for this collection. One will be a stamping review and one will be a water marbling review. If you want to see the actual ombre in action, be sure to check out Housewifenails on YouTube. I will be sure to link her channel down below so you can check out her ombre. She is the queen of ombre ingredients, so be sure to check that out because she does an amazing job. And I also wanted to bring up one more thing before I get started on the review. When Holly came to us as swatchers and said that she wanted us to swatch this collection, she has a few swatchers, and instead of just posting single swatches of each polish in the collection and then reposting a bunch of single cream swatches, she had the brilliant idea of kind of assigning each swatcher a different thing to do. So between myself and Wendy, who is Stuck on Lacquer on Instagram, and she also does have a YouTube channel where I believe she will be water marbling as well. I will be sure to link her down below so you can check out that review and so you can check her out on Instagram, because she's the one who taught me how to water marble. Essentially, she taught me how. I also am going to be linking Sam H Nails. Sam is going to be doing a full nail art review and her swatches of this completely amazing collection. This is probably one of my favorite collections so far from Stached Polish. The other swatcher that is involved is Mrs. Miss Costello, and that is Misty, and I will be sure to link her Instagram down below. She's going to be doing a full stamping review, and I want y'all to be able to see that as well. So without further ado, let's get into the swatches.
Okay, so the first ones we're going to start with is the yellows, and I am showing them here from dark to lightest, but we're going to point to the lightest first, then the medium, and then the darkest. So first color is called excuse me, is called Highlight of My Life, and this is actually my favorite from the yellows. I absolutely love this just gorgeous sunshine, beautiful yellow. And here is the first coat. This for me was almost opaque in one. I did have a few streaks and some bald spots that I'm going to cover up on that second coat. But if you did a thicker first coat, you could probably get this opaque in one. And just wow. So there's one coat. And here is the second coat of Highlight of My Life. And as you can see, this does come to full opacity for me on 2 coats. It covers up any bald spots or streaking. For a yellow, this is just absolutely amazing. Most yellows have very tricky formulas, and this was perfect. There's 2 coats and my swatch photo under artificial lighting. Up next we have Sunshine and Daisies, and this is a gorgeous medium yellow cream. It almost reminds me of like a bumblebee yellow. And here is the first coat. And the first coat was the tiniest bit more sheer than the last one and did have some bald spots and streaking. So I'm going to do a second to cover that up. If you did one thicker coat, you could probably get this opaque in one, but this formula was a little bit more patchy than the last one, so I do recommend 2 coats. And here is the second coat of Sunshine and Daisies, and this brings it to full opacity for me. And I do have to mention that all of these formulas were particularly fantastic, went on like butter, didn't have any issues with flooding or pooling my cuticles. So there is 2 coats and my swatch photo under artificial lighting. And finally we have Meant to Be, and this is a gorgeous deep yellow cream. Almost reminds me of like 1970s, mustardy almost. Now of the entire collection, this one was the most sheer. This was addressed to the maker, and she is remedying that as we speak so that it will be more opaque in 1 to 2 coats rather than 3. So here's that second coat, still a little bit on the sheer side, more visible nail line in person than you can see on my camera, but there was visible nail line on this second coat. But the formula wasn't patchy or streaky, went on really smooth, didn't have any issues with it at all. So here is that third coat. And this does dry just slightly darker than what is in the bottle, but absolutely perfect for me on 3 coats. And here is my swatch photo under artificial lighting. And then moving on to the pinks. So here we have them from darkest to lightest, pointing to the lightest one first, the medium, and then the darkest. Up first we have Pinking of Forever, and this is a very pale light pink cream, almost to the point of white. And I'm showing the second coat here because for some odd reason my camera wasn't recording when I did the first coat. So you can see fairly opaque on the first coat, doing a second to really bring that together, make it smooth, less patchy, really make it nice and smooth. So there is 2 coats of Pinking of Forever. It made me look really tan. Next one up is Let's Pink the Night Away. And this is a pale bubblegum pink cream. This is a fantastic formula, a little on the thinner side, but not so thin that it's not workable. And I don't know what it was with the pinks, but I had some serious focus issues, and I just, all around, pinks hated me that day. So there's 1 coat, and we're moving on to the second coat, which brings it fully opaque. And my lights really were just kind of messing with me. My brightness was off just a little bit, so this is appearing just slightly paler than it is in person. You can kind of see the truer color underneath my hand where it's shaded. So that's 2 coats and my swatch photo under artificial lighting. And then finally we have Pink Slip. This is a bright Barbie pink, and here is a bottle shot. This is appearing just slightly lighter than what it is in person. This is a little bit more on that bright Barbie side, but this is still fairly close. Again, having some focusing issues, but we got it done, folks. So there's 1 coat. And here is the second coat of Pink Slip. And perfect formula, again, goes on nice and smooth. No pooling, no flooding my cuticles, stays where I put it. And 2 coats brings it fully opaque. And here is my swatch photo under artificial lighting. And moving on to the grays. And here we have them from darkest to lightest, pointing to the lightest first, the medium, and then the darkest. And then up first we have the lightest one, which is 50 Shades of Earl Grey. And this is a very, very pale, borderlining white gray cream. And this is almost opaque in one coat. There was a little bit of patchiness, a little bit of streakiness, so I went ahead and did 2 coats for this one. But perfect formula, not too thick, not too thin, stays where you put it. Just absolutely, these creams, I can't say enough good things about them. They're absolutely fantastic. So there is 1 coat. And here is the second coat of 50 Shades of Earl Grey. And the second coat brings it fully opaque, covers up any bald spots or patchiness that you might have. If you did this in one thicker coat, you might be able to get it perfectly opaque in one. And I think a lot of these creams are going to be those kind of creams that once they sit for a while, they're going to get a little bit thicker and the opacity will increase to 1 coat on most of these. So there is 2 coats. And my swatch photo under artificial lighting. Moving on to the next one, this is the medium gray. This is called Grayed Out. And this is just an absolutely perfect medium gray cream. Same fantastic formula. I feel like I'm repeating myself a little bit. So this has, again, fantastic formula, slightly patchy on that first coat, but again, almost opaque in one. It is a little bit sheerer than the last, but not by much. And I guess you can probably hear birds again. There is 1 coat. And moving on to the second coat. I do all my voiceovers outside. So you can probably hear birds singing as I'm recording. So this second coat brings it fully opaque and perfectly smooth. And can't say enough good things about these creams. So there is 2 coats and my swatch photo under artificial lighting. And then finally, we have the Periodic Table of Elephants. This is the darkest gray cream, and in person this is slightly darker than what's being shown on camera. This one was the sheerest out of the 3 gray creams. But I think once it sits a little bit, it'll probably thicken up some. A little bit of cleanup there. I keep a ton of little e.l.f. concealer brushes on hand for cleanup during Swatch Fest. So there's 1 coat. Moving on to the second coat. This is going to bring it fully opaque, cover up any patchiness or bald spots. I mean, absolutely gorgeous gray. If you've been looking for really perfect gray creams, look no further because these are just fantastic. So that was my swatch and review of the Ombre Cremes Part 1 by Stached Polish. These will be available for purchase on April the 28th. You can join the Stashionistas Facebook group on Facebook to get more sneak peeks and maybe even get an early purchase time. So I'll be sure to link that information down below. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Bye!